It's been a deadlock case that stretched on and on. Today marks 6 years since the Wikileaks chief Julian Assange stepped foot into the Ecuadorian Embassy in London and has not left since. That's over 2,100 days cooped up behind those walls. The main reason, his biggest fear, U.S. retaliation for Wikileaks exposing information that those running the show in Washington would prefer to have kept under wraps.
Julian Assange is engaged in terrorism. He should be treated as an enemy combatant. WikiLeaks should be closed down permanently and decisively.
This guy's a traitor, a treasonist, and he has broken every law of the United States. The guy ought to be, and I'm not for the death penalty, so if I'm not for the death penalty, the only one to do it, illegally shoot the son of a
WikiLeaks walks like a hostile intelligence service and talks like a hostile intelligence service. Ignorance or misplaced idealism is no longer an acceptable excuse for lionizing these demons.
In these last 6 years, a lot has happened. The original Swedish investigation into sexual assault allegations against Assange has come and gone. International organizations such as the UN have called his detention arbitrary and demanded his release. Concerns have been raised multiple times about his deteriorating health, including in London courtrooms. Assange's legal team has made appeal after appeal for him to be guaranteed secure passage if he were to walk out of Ecuadorian territory onto British soil, but to no avail. He's still wanted by British authorities for breaching bail conditions when he initially stepped foot into the embassy. Assange worries if he walks out, he'll be sent straight to the US.
This case is and has always been about the risk of extradition to the United States, and that risk remains real. Nobody can credibly deny that risk.
In December, Julian Assange was granted Ecuadorian citizenship, raising his hopes that his story was finally going somewhere. But that hasn't happened either. Ecuador's new president, who took office last year, has indicated that he's no fan of Assange speaking out about politics while under his roof, demanding that the journalist and publisher does not exceed the limits of free speech. Since March, Assange's access to the internet and other forms of communication have been cut.
I have made a very respectful remark to Mr. Assange. His status doesn't allow him to talk about the politics of any country, let alone ours.
It looks increasingly like Julian Assange is threatening to outstay his welcome at the Ecuadorian Embassy, which means the direction this lengthy saga will head next is probably more uncertain now than ever. Anastasia Churkina, RT, London.
Human rights activist Craig Murray believes it's unlikely Julian Assange will ever walk free from the Ecuadorian embassy.
What we're seeing is extremely shameful. We're seeing pressure being brought to bear on Ecuador by the United States, by Spain, and by various neoconservative motivated countries in order to silence and potentially imprison one of the great editors and journalists of our time who has contributed massively to public knowledge. All the signs are that the United States intends to extradite Assange as soon as he is able to leave the embassy. And this on charges of espionage, which is an extremely serious offence. And it's quite extraordinary that somebody who has simply published information given them to information of enormous public interest to be put into the public domain, that a country which historically has claimed to be the champion of free speech seeks to bring that kind of highly political persecution against a publisher and editor.